Mid-November has always been a tough time for me. There's a very noticeable drop-off in buck movement. With this lull weighing on my attitude, I continue to hunt new areas hoping for a surprise. At the same time, I'm resting stand sites I've hunted hard for almost a month. We're going to mix it up again this afternoon and hunt a spot that we haven't hunted yet this season. I'm not even sure that we've hunted this spot for the past couple of years. I had a camera down here back in September and into early October, and there were 2 bucks on there that I would shoot. I don't want to keep putting pressure on that area where the lone oak buck is living. I want to rest that for a while. We can jump back into that here, maybe even starting tomorrow morning, we'll see. But this will be fun to check out some new country and see what's going on here. The deer were moving this morning. Jared said he had a really good hunt. Had a shooter buck at close range, but wasn't able to get the bow and the camera all organized. He was self-filming, so that was encouraging. I drove around the neighborhood and I did see a fair amount of deer out moving and some solid younger bucks. Nothing that I thought was a mature buck, but it was just good to see that the rut hasn't stalled. There's still some life left in this rut. So hopefully they're still moving this afternoon, and at least you get a chance to see some new country. It's not the same old 4 or 5 stands that I've been hunting, so that'll be fun. So we'll hustle down in there and see what pops out. Ozonics devices electronically change oxygen molecules into ozone molecules, which are unstable. As they rain down from the Ozonics unit, these unstable oxygen molecules try to stabilize by grabbing carbon molecules wherever they can find them. Human odor is primarily carbon-based, so the ozone eats up the scent molecules as the 2 gases mix in the airstream downwind of your stand. Low light accuracy requires a sight with bright pins. Fuse sights have some of the brightest pins on the market, making it possible to take shots right up to the end of legal shooting time with total confidence. I have learned over the years that you never regret buying high-quality products. Sure, you can build a blind for a reasonable cost, and that might get you by for a while, but for a truly long-term solution, nothing beats a well-made fiberglass blind like the Redneck Buck Palace. Coolers aren't just for the beach or exclusively for family vacation. They are for any time you need to keep something cold. When hanging stands during the dog days of summer, we depend on our American-made Grizzly coolers to keep refreshments cold so we can stick with it until the job is done. As I settle in for the afternoon overlooking the secluded field, 40 miles to the west, the Byers relive their morning hunt before taking their afternoon stand in the same tree where Caleb killed a dandy buck with Taylor's bow the season before.
It's November 16th tonight, and the weather is definitely a lot better than it was yesterday. It's a little cooler. It's about mid-40s instead of the mid-50s that we were seeing yesterday, and the wind is a lot lighter. It was about gusts of like 30 miles an hour yesterday, and it's almost nothing today, which isn't bad for this spot. And this is the same stand that Caleb and I did that little switcheroo last year. It's a little tricky. The deer can literally come from any direction, and although Caleb's still comfortable with my bow, I thought it'd be best if he just brought his own bow tonight, just so we were prepared. We covered all our bases, and still trying to get on the board. We have a couple days of vacation left, and the tensions are high. We're a little frustrated, but we just got to keep grinding, and hopefully we can get on the board soon. I don't know.
No, he's all there.
Okay. 4:30, and we have our setup. There's a big creek that runs between us and another little section, and we have a buck with a doe on the other side of it, just a really nice buck, and we're hoping that they can make their way this way. I'm really worried that they're gonna go that way and then come up the edge just like that buck did last year, but kind of a waiting game. Just kind of have to see what happens.
This tree, I tell you, you literally never know where they're gonna come from, but that's a big 8, and he's got, I'm not exactly sure what he is. I know he's got some splits and whatnot, but we had a giant deer on this side of us, and unfortunately when I shot that buck, the doe ran off, so he ran off too, but there's a lot of time left. We got an hour left, so I'm not certain that they won't be back. But hopefully he makes his way back in and we can pull off a double here.
Got a doe over there.
But feels good to get on the board though. He didn't crash, but I mean that deer's not going far, so.
Congrats!
Finally. There's 4 bucks right here.
Keeping with the formula for mid-November success, Caleb and Taylor Byers enjoy an exciting hunt made possible because a hot doe bedded near their stand, drawing every nearby buck within bow range.
Well, we got about 20 minutes of light left, and it's been about 30 minutes since Caleb shot that buck that came in behind us. We ended up scaring that doe off, took that buck with her, but super pumped for Caleb. Awesome hunt, and it just feels super good to finally be on the board and finally get some wind in our sails and boost our morale a little bit. So super pumped, and just see what the rest of the night has in store.
It actually feels like November. I was wondering if November was going to show.
Oh, the rut. It feels like a rut. It's been crazy in here the whole time. I mean, absolutely crazy. I don't even know how many deer we've seen, let alone bucks.
I'd say we've seen like 12 to 15 different bucks.
Oh, for sure. It's been insane. Definitely feels like November. Man, what a night.
Keeping things simple and minimizing gear is always a worthwhile goal. Nikon's LaserForce range-finding binoculars bring together the 2 pieces of optical hardware that most bow hunters carry to the stand. Working hard to contain cost, Nikon is able to offer the LaserForce at roughly the same price you would pay if you bought a rangefinder and a high-quality binocular separately. Sleepless nights spent waiting for daylight only to follow a weak blood trail are a thing of the past with the devastating performance of the new Wasp Jackhammer broadhead. With its 1 3/4 inch cutting diameter, this head is the perfect combination of destruction and penetration. Small diameter arrows like Easton's FMJ series make sense for many reasons. They penetrate very well and drift less in a crosswind. The FMJ is also the perfect weight for whitetail hunting. Versatility is one of the most important features of a good food plot seeder. It must be able to plant a wide range of seed sizes at a wide range of rates and place them in the ground at the correct depth for each application. The RTP Genesis is ideal in each of these regards. Versatility is one of the things we like most about this seeder. Back on my farm, there's something noticeably missing that was obvious in the Byers hunt, those 15 bucks. As I've said many times, in the middle of November, if you hope to see a good buck, you need to be lucky and have a hot doe nearby. I didn't, and I closed out the evening of November 16th the same way I started it, hopeful and with my tag still burning a hole in my pocket. We got 45 minutes left. We got into a fast chase when we were walking in. That was pretty exciting. I don't know what that first buck was. He was a decent buck at least. The second one in the chase was pretty small. Definitely not a buck that would grab your attention, but that first one might have been a little bit better deer. Most years, this big bottom field here would be in either corn or soybeans, and I've seen some unbelievable hunts right from this tree stand in past years when this whole bottom field was in food. Some kind of grass growing up in there now. I had planted beans in there back in the spring. They popped and then the drought got them, and I never was able to get back in here again to rescue this field. I'm going to be hunting in the morning, probably going back to the bedding ridge one last time here before the weekend to see if we can get another look at that lone oak buck. Rejoining Caleb and Taylor Byers, the two bow hunters close out their evening in much better style by taking up the blood trail of the buck Caleb hit an hour earlier.
Well, we just climbed down. We gave that other buck every opportunity in the world to come over here, but that doe ended up probably going the other way. We just took the bird in the hand here, and it was too nice of a deer to pass, so we're gonna go where I shot him and try and pick up the blood there. Even though he kind of circled the tree, I think it's gonna be a lot easier to find blood out here and follow it from there. So let's head out here and see what we got. Oh yeah, lots of bubbles, so definitely lung blood. Ran right through this giant scrape. That is a stud. Yes. That is a stud of an 8-point. Maybe a little bit of a 9. I'm gonna have to look back and see if we got pictures of him. Well, we waited till the next morning to get him out here in the daylight and get a better look at him. But last night was just an exceptional hunt, and the expression "can lightning strike twice" definitely hits the nail on the head with this hunt. We literally had basically the same exact hunt last year with the same result. The only difference was this buck came from the opposite direction. The tree's set up where if the deer are kind of coming through that what was a poor man's plot, you know, Taylor's gonna have every opportunity to kill him. and we knew that the way that the tree's just so big, there's no way that you can get around to the other side of the tree. If a deer comes in on the other side, there's just no way possible you're going to be able to get a shot. So basically, whatever side of the tree the mature buck came in on, we're going to take advantage of the opportunity. I filmed him until we seen that he was coming out into the cornfield, and at that point, Taylor's like, "Give me the camera already." So I handed her the camera and made a good shot on him. He didn't go very far at all. This has been one of the most difficult seasons that we've ever had, and we knew coming in that it was going to be the biggest challenge. Anytime you lose your best farm and a farm that you basically spend your whole rut in, you're basically starting over, and we knew that it was going to be rough for us, but it's actually been more a year of self-inflicted wounds. On November 9th, I don't care to admit it, but it was an absolute train wreck on our part. We had a buck come in that we would have loved to get off the property, and Taylor was more than happy to shoot him with her bow. But unfortunately, we upped her poundage a lot this year, and with the amount of clothes, the adrenaline, and everything that went into that, she just wasn't able to get her bow back. So it's one of those things that can happen. A very good lesson learned. And to finish out that night, I ended up shooting what would be the biggest buck of my life. I ended up hitting him low, and we tracked him for about 500 to 600 yards, and we weren't able to recover the buck, and it's definitely been eating at me. I've been beating myself up pretty bad, to be honest with you. It's one of those things that it's not a good situation to be in. You never want to make a poor shot on an animal, but that's the reality of hunting, and it happens. What I would do to have that shot back, but hindsight's 2020, and moving forward, we knew we had to keep grinding. We spent about 4 days looking for him, and the 4 best days of the rut, in my opinion. So we knew that it was going to be tough, and we were going to have to take advantage of getting on a buck after a lot of the does were coming out of estrus. So we were able to do that, and a good buck at that. So we have a lot of people to thank. I mean, as always, I want to thank everybody that's helped out with Huxley along the way. It's not easy when you have a little one and you're trying to spend as much time in the tree as possible. All in all, it was a great November evening, and we capped it off with just an incredible buck, and I couldn't be more blessed to live in Iowa, and fortunate to have a wife that loves to do what I do as much as or even more. So I'm just very thankful to finally get on the board, and hopefully we can get this season kicked off and pointed in the right direction now. So hopefully we can put a few more down.
Hoyt makes a bow for everyone in every situation. This is never more obvious than when watching Taylor and Caleb Byers hunt. This killer couple often head to the stand with 2 bows, one designed exclusively for her and one for him. Caleb and Taylor were covered up in deer while hunting from a tree with minimal cover. Having a camo pattern that allows you to blend into a wide range of backgrounds can play a crucial role in allowing you to harvest a mature buck. The Cabela's Alaskan Guide Series headlamp provided Caleb with more than enough light to quickly find blood and recover his buck. Being conveniently small and powerfully bright, this simple piece of gear should be a standard item in every bow hunter's pack. Frigid Forge Trophy Clover is my choice when creating poor man's plots, small food plots that we make on a budget using just hand tools. This seed blend has several varieties, and at least one does well in every condition. The seed germinates well and grows fast, producing a huntable food plot by the first fall.
We have a buck with a doe on the other side of it. Just a really nice buck.
Big deer.
Yeah, it is a big deer.
You want to shoot him? We can possibly double.
I don't think I can.
It actually feels like November. He's wondering if November was going to show up.
Oh, the rut. It feels like the rut. It's been crazy in here.
At the risk of sounding like a broken record, I slowly wind through the mid-November lull. hoping each day to be in the same blessed spot where Caleb and Taylor found themselves when the hot doe bedded down near their stand. There really is no magic formula to this phase of the rut. You just keep going, doing your best to hunt smart, not burning out stands that could be great again very soon. The does can't come out of estrus soon enough. Once they do, we will start to see mature bucks on their feet again. As always, there are good days and better days. There are no bad days. It is impossible to say there are ever any bad days when you are chasing November.